military branch housed within the Navy. Now, supporters of the idea said that the Space Corps is needed to keep the United States ahead of Russia and China as space continues to be growing and a growing military factor, and the Air Force is not equipped to meet those needs alone. I've been talking about it a while, the whole Star Wars deal, and how space is going to be one of these deals if we do not tackle that. I mean, it's a place where, come on, Russia and China can go up there. They have their satellites. They launch their satellites. I mean, they brought our astronauts to the International Space Station. But you can also launch missiles. You can do things in outer space. Who knows what the Russians, who knows what the Chinese, I mean, it just looks like a satellite, but who knows what's in it? There has to be much more concentration on this. I think it's a good thing, though there's some people speaking out like Air Force Secretary Heather Wilson, and she says, though such a move would actually harm effects to ramp up the U.S. military space program by adding bureaucracy, and she said that wouldn't be good. More red tape? The Pentagon is complicated enough, Wilson was telling CNN. This will make it more complex, add more boxes to the organization chart, and cost more money. If I had more money, I'd put it into other things, not an added bureaucracy. Rogers, though, disagreed with Wilson and her concerns, calling her assessment of NPR absolutely wrong. The bureaucracy is always going to fight reform, always, especially the Pentagon, Rogers told the broadcaster. They're fighting this because they don't want Congress meddling. What I've told her is in 16 years, the Air Force has not changed a thing. And they've got us in this situation now where Russia and China have become new peers. They're close to surpassing us. What we're proposing would change that. That's what makes sense to me. What we're proposing will change that. More concentrated effort. If there's nothing changed in 16 years regarding space with the Air Force, then there needs to be something. I like it, Space Corps. What do you think about that? Sound off right now on Facebook. Yeah, we're on Facebook too, For the People Show. You can sound off there, start a thread. You'd like to do that. What do you think about that? Should we have a Space Corps? Or are you against it? What do you think? Are you with me? But I thought it was kind of interesting. They say the problem is 90% of space in our military is in the Air Force. So what we're basically going to be doing is taking the current infrastructure, for example, Space Command in Colorado Springs will become the headquarters for the Space Corps. We're talking about taking the people that we need to take the deal with space and segregating them into a culture that appreciates them. So people are just focused, again, more concentration. Oh my goodness, it actually makes sense. That's why we call it common sense radio, folks. There's the good and there's the bad. Technology is really increased dramatically. But there's other superpowers out there. And Russia's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Clearly. For so many different reasons. And the Chinese, are you kidding me? They have amazing craft. We need to be able to be at our sharpest. But we've had, Barack Obama did not fund NASA. That was very stupid. That we let the shuttle program just go. Just go. The shuttles worked really well. They really did. They had a nice cargo. It came back, it landed. Came back, it landed. It worked very, very well. Couldn't build another shuttle. Couldn't build another craft. A shame. I would go all back there again. You got so much done on there. It was so productive. And build upon those ideas. It worked well. People actually inspected the shuttles before they went. Very interesting story. And over the weekend, I had some lunch with some terrific friends. Had a terrific time. But I was talking about something that I saw in the news, and this had to do with snorting chocolate. And you heard right, snorting chocolate. Have you heard about it? I don't snort chocolate. I don't snort anything. I don't put anything up my nose. Just not my thing. But kids, other adults, they like the energy drinks. They like the quick fixes. And so basically, in Europe, they've been doing this for a while. And they're finding a euphoric feeling when they're snorting chocolate. There's a gentleman in Florida that heard about it in Europe, and he's named it already. He's marketing it as raw Coco Loco. That's right. It's snuff. Coco Loco snuff. And it's cacao powder. Cacao. Maybe that's it. Cacao powder. And it comes from beans, by the way, specifically in making chocolate. And they contain some caffeine on top of it. So cacao and some caffeine. And so the manufacturer, Legal Lean Company, doesn't detail other ingredients online, but according to new reports, Coco Loco also includes common energy drink ingredients, and it promises feelings of well-being, mental focus, ecstasy, like euphoria, and a rush of motivation. And this is great for partygoers to dance the night away without a crash, according to Orlando, Florida-based Legal Lean's website. Legal Lean. You can check it out for yourself if you just want to see it. It's a Florida-based company right up the road from me. It's always in Florida. What's the deal? Legal Leans. And it notes that the claims haven't been vetted by the Food and Drug Administration, and thus Chuck Schumer, I had to mention, he's wanting Snortable Chocolate powder to be reviewed by the federal regulators. He's saying this is worrisome, and it could prove harmful, and it's being marketed like a drug. This is something that I could agree on with Chuck Schumer. This is the kind of politics that we can talk about. This is safe. This is common sense. Thank you, Chuck Schumer. I think this is good. This matters. In a letter Saturday to the New York Democrat, he asked the Food and Drug Administration to investigate the use of caffeine in inhaled food products such as Coco Loco. It's gotten buzz in recent weeks, and Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, says there are too many unanswered questions about a product pitched under the innocent-sounding name of chocolate. I happen to totally concur with that. There's people that they'll put anything up their nose. They'll inhale stuff. And they don't realize what damage they are doing. And Schumer is basically saying, we don't know if this is totally harmless. I just would not think, no matter what it is, that you'd actually want to snort something up your nose, up to your sinus cavities, and then ultimately up to your brain. Who knows? Mold starts growing up there. You start, I don't know. You could die. But this is the big deal, folks. A lot of people don't think that this is true, but they're selling this stuff. Legal Lean Company sells the Coco Loco online. How much? $19.99 for a 1.25 ounce, 3.5 gram tin. And the founder, Nick Anderson, has said that he didn't consult any medical professionals, but he believes himself. Now, this guy's not a chemist. He didn't study biology, none of this stuff, or the human anatomy. I guess he knows his own body. But he says Coco Loco is safe. He does it himself. He snorts it all the time, loves it. He said he's had no ill effects, except that he feels euphoric. He feels in control. Gives him a pick-me-up. Just snort it. It's a beautiful thing. He says it's happening in Europe. And there's really no negative publicity. So I felt we're good to go. He was telling ABC's Good Morning America this past Thursday. Now, doctors have said they're not certain what the effects of inhaling chocolate might be. So Chuck Schumer is trying to get the FDA to look at this stuff. Personally, I don't recommend it. But people are always looking for that next high, that next buzz. To me, find somebody that revs your engine. There's your euphoria. Exercise. It releases positive endorphins. It gets your blood moving. It actually gets your brain making sense. It's a beautiful thing. Don't be sedentary. All these folks that take this kind of stuff, I don't think they do these things. I really don't. But again, that's just more common sense for you. We call it Common Sense Radio. It's for Mr. and Mrs. America. I hope you like it. ForThePeopleShow.com is our website, ForThePeopleShow.com. Send off on Twitter at Talk to Keith Allen. And that's ALAN, Talk to Keith Allen. If you have a Twitter account, if you don't, sign up at Twitter.com, get your Twitter account, and just for the mere purpose of keeping in touch with this broadcast. And you can sound off on anything that we're talking about. Start a thread. Tell your friends about the broadcast. One more way to share with people about the show that you love. And I appreciate this very, very much. If you'd, that's the way that you can help. People ask all the time monetarily. You know, this is a listener-supported show, listener-supported labor of love. 100% listener. I don't get a paycheck. Now, the stations don't pay me, but they run it because I love the show. But it's you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Your support enables me to be able to do what I do each and every day. So if you can give $1 a month, sign up right now at forthepeopleshow.com. $1 a month. I challenge you. If you might be broker than a spoke. Some people are. They say, I'm broker than a spoke, but I can do $1 a month for you. I appreciate that. That doesn't sound like a lot, but if that's the most you can do. Now, there's a drag down menu at forthepeopleshow.com. You can go $5, $10, $25, $50, up to $100. And I appreciate if you can do that. That would be great. Whatever you can do and whatever is laid on your heart to do this, I would appreciate that. But that's how you can get plugged in with the broadcast and help us grow further is subscribe to become a For the People member today. And it's free to do so. Sort of. You just have to give at least $1 a minimum, so it's not free. It's almost. Come on. Trump's backing off an idea that he's getting criticized for. And this is basically the idea of cybersecurity, making a statement over there in Germany. He's backing away from this whole idea, working with Russia to create a cybersecurity unit to guard against election hacking. Trump was tweeting Sunday morning about discussing such a unit with Russian President Vladimir Putin, yet it's Russia that U.S. intelligence officials blame for meddling in last year's election. So widespread ridicule, like I'm saying, greeted Trump's tweets. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina didn't hold back. He says it's pretty close to the dumbest idea he's ever heard. A Democratic Congressman, Adam Schiff of California, says expecting Russia to be a credible partner in any cybersecurity initiative would be dangerously native. Yeah, probably would be stupid. And then by Sunday evening, things changed with Trump's language. Trump was tweeting a different tune, and he wrote that just because he and Putin discussed the idea doesn't mean I think it can happen. It can't. Yeah, the difference between Barack Obama is that he was a lawyer. Bill Clinton, a lawyer. And they made fraudulent slips. They made slips. They had to backtrack things. And so it wasn't the best comment that he could have possibly made. And so I'm certain, as a result of this, that Trump's going to take some backlash, especially on late night TV. The comedians are just going to have a field day on this. Another Senate Republican, Marco Rubio, he had to weigh in on Twitter that partnering with Putin on a cybersecurity unit is akin to partnering with Assad on a chemical weapons unit.